Alright guys, so I recently did the unboxing for you guys to show you all the information there was about this model kit. This is the Enterprise with fiber optics. This is a 1997 release from AMT ERTL. Now I had wanted to show you guys what it was all about because there's not a lot of videos or information on the internet when it comes to this model. So I thought about it and I was like, well, I'll just unbox it and show you guys what it's like and then move on. Because I am doing the Eagle Moss build the Enterprise. Let me show that for you real quick. And there's not too many models that are going to be able to stack up to this one when it comes to the Enterprise D. So I figured, you know what, because this model is so rare and you don't really see anything about it, I decided to make it. So I'm going to make this model for you, and I'm going to show you guys, if you make it right out of the box following the instructions, what it's going to look like with the fiber optics. Because nowadays, you know, we have the LEDs, we have better technology, and we can make a lighted ship a lot better. But I want to show you guys what it actually looked like with the fiber optic cable. So I decided I'm going to make this kit, which is, you know, I got so many projects going right now. It's going to be springtime, and I had wanted to make a case for my trumpeter, 1/200 scale Titanic, before I make the model, so I had a place to put it when she was done. And I'm still working, let's see, I'm still working on the 1/350 scale Enterprise refit from Polar Lights. And right now, let's see, I did the Aztecing on, this would be the inner part of the nacelle. And I'm currently, I put the Aztecing on the back, but I'm going to be doing the front and the rest of it. When I'm done Aztecing this half, I got to put them together and I got to Aztec the tops, because that's a different sheet as well, and you can see. So this has me busy, and I've been working on this model for a long time. This one is very time consuming. That will be Star Trek the Motion Picture, the 1/350 Enterprise. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. And I want to show you guys what she's going to look like when she's finished. This particular model kit with the fiber optics. So let's start. I want to show you guys the first thing that we're going to do. And there's a lot of instructions with this. Let's see. I already showed you all this information in the unboxing video. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do in this build is we're going to get the switch. We're going to get the power for the base to power the ship. We're going to get that all squared away, and we're going to do the drill. So that's the first thing that we're going to do, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the switch ready, and you can see the power supply, and we're going to need 4 C batteries. You can see the tray that we're going to use with the 4 C batteries. And we have some wiring that's going to be for the switch as well as for the power to go to the ship. And then we have the base or the box for the power supply. And you can see they give you the option of either side if you want to put the switch in. And when they go together, you can see the top or the bottom. So whatever one you want. So we're going to cut this out, and let's see if there's any way for it to be guided from the inside. You can see, I don't know if you can see that, where it's going to be cut. Right in there. So the switch, if you guys remember, the switch was in the power drill. Come on now, stay put. And we've got the lights. And we got the switch. The power jack is in here as well. And we got the drills. And let's see, what does the drill take? We could do that right now. Let's see. The micro drill uses 2 AA batteries. So we've got 2 of the Duracells, and let me show you guys quickly how to set up the drill. Okay, so put the cover back on, and you can see. I guess one of these batteries is no good. So when you get the batteries in, let's go over and let me show you guys the drill bit. Let's see how many. Well, they only give us 1. I done the Enterprise Incident fiber optic model kit, and they actually gave us 2 drill bits. But in this model kit, we only get 1. And it's really easy to break these, so you want to be very careful. And what you do is let me show you guys, you push the drill bit all the way in. And you can see it spin. And the drill is all set to go. Okay, so we'll put the drill bit aside for now. Now when it comes to this section, let's see, we're going to do the area. Note, open holes prior to assembly. So, 2 small screws that go in either side. And the instructions for this call: separate the 2 halves of the battery case and remove the contents. Use a sharp hobby knife to open the hole for the switch and the 2 holes to accommodate the 2 small screws. Switch hole template, actual size. You can see the template. Carefully snip, slightly separate one of the 2 power cord wires from the case and strip 1/4 of the covering from each end to cut the wires. Solder the wire ends to the switch as shown. So the first thing we got to do is we're going to cut a hole for the switch. And you can see they got a nice inside view. So what I think I'm going to do is use a small drill for the screw holes, and we'll use the knife for this part because it looks like it would be bigger on the inside, so I want to follow it precisely. So let's see where the knife comes out. I want to get a fresh brand new blade for this. Let's see, brand new blade. Make sure it's nice and tight. And let's see, like I said, both halves are really the same. It doesn't matter which one you want to use. It could be flipped over for the top or the bottom if you prefer. So you can see I'm going to stick the knife hole into the depressed area. Let's see where that comes out. see what we got so far. Hope the camera can pick that up for you guys. And let's see, will the switch go in? And the switch will go in. It seems like the space that they had originally was just a little too large for the switch plate. So you want to go smaller than the opening. Let me show you guys what I mean. So you have the other side. You can see the switch and where the depression is. And I followed the outline of the depression, but it actually was too big for the switch. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap, but that's okay. I'll fix that with, we'll cover that up. But you can see the switch is going to go in just like that. So let me mark it off, and I'm going to drill tiny little holes right where the screws are going to go, just to make sure that it's going to stay in place. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it with the razor, the hobby knife, and we'll do it that way. So I want you guys to be able to, hopefully you can see that on the camera, the two little screw holes where the screws are going to go in. And let's take a look at the wiring itself. Carefully snip and separate one of the two power cord wires 1.5 inches from the case, and strip 1/4 inch of the covering from each of the cut wires. Solder the wire ends to the switch as shown. So you can see we're going to do that. So it's going to get, we're going to screw it into place. And let me show you guys what it's like after it's screwed into place. Alright, what I wanted to do was I put the switch in the base. You can see, and what I want to do is this is going to hold it in place so I can actually solder it. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Let me actually solder the leads. We're going to take the two leads and we're going to solder the switch. Okay, so I got the switch soldered into place. Make sure you guys can see that. It isn't beautiful, but it's not going to show. So we got the switch, and we got it soldered. So what I'm going to do now is, because I want it to be solid, this is plastic, by the way, so this isn't metal. So what I like to do is I'm going to take the glue gun and we're going to glue it into place with some hot glue. That way there, the switch will be solid, and we will know that the wires aren't going to be falling out anytime soon or off the switch, because I'm going to hot glue everything into place. And we're going to keep it nice and sturdy. And what I'm going to do also is I'm going to hot glue this part into place as well. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but I kind of hot glued the whole thing into position just to keep it nice and solid, because the screws go into the plastic on either side and there's not a lot of room between the hole and the switch opening. So we want to make sure that this gets nice and solid, and then I'll show you guys what I'm going to do for the rest. It starts to get a little bit solid. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hot wire the glues. I'm going to hot wire or glue the wires to the bottom of the tray just to keep it all secured. So we'll put that just to the side. Now it may seem like a lot of glue, and you figure, why do it? But it's better to be safe than sorry, and I want it to be solid. So I don't know if you can see the glue that I put to hold that wire into position, because we don't want it pulling off the switch, and we want it to be snug, solid, and secure. So when this is solid, we'll do the other side. So when it starts to solidify, you can see it's going to hold this in place. So now I'm going to do the other side and make sure that that doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so it got a little bit solid, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hot glue the tray into position. You can see it's got those two, I don't know if you can see it, but it does have the two pins that I can go into. And when I hot glue this, everything will be nice and secure. Alright, so I hot glued the plate into place, and let's see, should I probably do that as well? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it nice and neat, and I'm going to hot glue everything, you guys can see. So it'll be nice and neat, and then the wire will just come out of that little trench. Need another stick of glue. Alright, so I'm going to put everything into place just like that. You can see the wire is coming out. It's going to be in a little trench. And let's just hot glue everything now, just to make sure it's nice and snug and it's not going anywhere. Okay, so you guys can see I got it nice and secure. Everything is neat looking. The soldering is going to be protected. The wires are going to be protected. The battery case itself is hot glued into position. That way there, we know that nothing is going to happen. So you guys can see that's going to be nice and solid. So when you take the other half and you put it back on, you got the little channel that you need to line up. So now that's going to go on nicely. And just like that. So that's what it's going to look like. You got the switch, and it's nice and secure, sturdy, and we're going to leave that on the bottom. If you want, you could flip it over, but I'm going to leave it on the bottom because that's where the battery tray is. And then when you need to put the batteries in, you can just kind of maneuver the pins out of the corners. You see everything that we did. It's going to keep it secure, and it's not going to go anywhere. So the pulling and the pulling that we're going to do over the years for the model won't affect the battery pack. The only thing is, now I don't know if I have batteries. So what I got to do now is, we're not ready to use the battery pack anyway, but I got to get batteries. This requires 4C batteries, and for me personally, I like the Duracell. So you can see one more time what we did, the soldering and the hot gluing, and then we take the other piece. You can see how nicely it goes on, just like that. The switch, very solid. And that, my friends, is the completion of steps 1, which was the base, the power pack, and 2, which was the drill. So my friends, I hope you follow along in this build, and the next video we're going to go on to part 3.